And we are live. Good evening. Happy Saturday to you. I'm Kandi Knight.
And I am Coach Thomas, and this is the Expect to Win experience.
All right.
Hey,
Another show.
welcome back, Candy.
Welcome
we've
back
been
to
gone.
you too, Coach.
We've been gone for a week, and now we are ready to. I don't know if this is considered a new season or we just an extension of the
Yeah.
last season.
Yeah. Took a little break, a little holiday break for Thanksgiving, and now we're back getting ready officially into the holiday season now. So we've got a couple more shows again before we take our break, and we've got a great one lined up for you tonight.
How you feeling about the holidays with the coronavirus and all of this stuff, Candy? Is it affecting your holiday plans, or how you feel about all this?
It does put a little damper on the holidays. I mean, it's still cold out. I mean, so I probably wouldn't have much to do anyway besides driving maybe and seeing lights. But when it comes to seeing family, of course, that's going to be a little different this year. But I'm just thankful to be here. So we'll make the best of it and just, kind of figure it out. It'll be one to remember for sure.
And for those of you who may not know, Candy is in Alabama and I am in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, she's
That's
representing.
right. Representing tonight. Roll Tide. We are currently smacking LSU and it's halftime. So I'm excited. So shout out to Najee, who's carrying us now.
I cannot say anything.
That's
um, They winning. So what can
right.
you
That's what we do. That's what we
uh,
do. Number one. Number one. Shout out to the
what
Tide.
can you say? What can you say? Fight on. Fight
All
on.
right. All right. So, once again, we're going to get ready to introduce tonight's guest. Again, the Expect to Win Experience Talk Show is a show that highlights high school and college athletes. And then we bring on a special celebrity guest, and they give us a few words of encouragement and advice to our athletes. So, Coach Thomas, you want to go ahead and introduce tonight's special athlete, our college athlete?
Yes, this is our first college athlete, and she is a track star and at Texas
Mhm.
Tech University. And you try to say that three times real fast, but she is, she is an incredible athlete, an incredible young woman, and we're gonna bring her on now. Unfortunately, we don't have the videotape, but trust me, you're going to enjoy meeting Miss Daja Gordon. She's joining us here.
Hey,
Check
Hey,
the winning experience.
hey, welcome.
you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Deja, you are a track star. Now you're our first track athlete here on the show, so we're going to learn a little bit more about the sport. Those of us who aren't so familiar with track. So let's talk about how you got your start in track and field.
Okay. Well, I started running when I was 6 years old. It started with my older brother, and then I would like run on the sideline next to him at practices, and then my
Mhm.
coach. So she was like, "You go ahead, go out there." So that's how I started. And I've been running ever since.
All right, and what is your event of choice for track?
I'm a short sprinter, so in indoor I do the 60 and the 200, and then outdoor I do the 100, the 200, and the 4x1. Then if coach decides to throw me on the 4x4, then that's what I'm doing.
That's right. Sounds good. Okay, and you're at Texas Tech, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what made you choose Texas Tech?
Well, out of all my visits, it was the most family oriented visit, and it was very like at home. It wasn't too far away from Dallas. It wasn't too close. So I was like, this is the perfect fit for me. they made me feel welcome.
Oh, wait,
Let me, because I understand you had, how many scholarship offers did you have?
Um, ooh,
I heard it was a lot.
all right now. We love to see it.
it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of letters of recruitment. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I only took 3 official visits. I couldn't do 5. I couldn't. It was too.
Wow.
Oh, that's
How
awesome.
how was that? How disciplined were you in high school? I mean, that, like I said, to get one scholarship offer is great. You know, to get multiple, what I mean, you that means you had to be on it with your academics as well as your athletics.
Yeah. Well,
What
I went to a preparatory school. Academics wasn't a factor. I was in National Honor Society, so that was just like a
Wow.
walk for me academic wise. But track wise, it was a lot of hard work. It was time consuming. It was days in, days out, but we made it work. I made it work, and it got me to where I am right now.
That's
So
right. Here we are. And so for the season, when does your season begin or what does practice look like for you now? I know COVID is affecting a lot of sports.
yeah, well, we're practicing now for off season. Then our season begins in January. Second week of January is when our first meet is our indoor meet. So right now we're just practicing with mask on. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Right.
It's very hard, but we're making it work.
Okay. And so you're in your senior year. What are you studying and what do you want to do after college?
Okay, I am a psychology major and a sociology minor. After college, I plan on going into social work in some form of social work and then becoming a behavior analysis after.
Awesome. Okay. And where do you want to go with the track? Do you see yourself in the Olympics in the future? Are you training for it? Is that a goal of yours?
It is a goal of mine. It is, well, I'm not gonna say it was. It still I have had a lot of setbacks because due to injuries and hamstring.
Mhm.
It's difficult, but it's still a goal of mine. 2020 Olympics was canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
Gotta wait that out and see.
Okay. So you're looking to 24
Yes.
to try and compete. Okay. Is there anyone in track and field that you look up to? You're giving me FloJo vibes. I mean, I
Yes.
see the hair, the lashes, and nails.
Yes. Definitely FloJo. She was the best to ever do it. Still is the best to ever do it. So it's definitely FloJo. And then of course Allison Felix and Sonya Richard.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah. Have a lot of
I,
role models.
yeah, I like Allison too. I've been watching her as well. The Olympics are really, really big. I was so sad when they had to postpone them this year. So,
Right.
do you play any other sports or any other sports catch your eye that you enjoy as well besides track and field?
Well, in high school I played basketball. Um,
Okay.
so I watch basketball a lot. I love basketball. I love to watch it. I watch football sometimes, but for the most part, I'm a basketball fan.
Okay. Awesome.
Who's your favorite player?
Katie, Kevin Durant.
AD. All right.
All right, all right. What would you say has been the most difficult challenge for you being a college athlete? Because I don't think a lot of young people realize how hard you have to work when you're in college and you're an athlete. You still have to make the grade. And what would you say to a young person that's, oh, I want to go to college, I want to play sports? What is that grind really like?
Okay. For me, adjustment is a big thing because in college it's a lot to do. There's a lot of outside factors, so just staying focused for me was a big thing. And mentally, you have to be strong mentally. It's going to challenge you physically. That's what track is. It challenge you physically, but mentally you have to be there. Like with my injuries, mentally it messed me up for a long.
Mm.
I fell into depression, and I like just recently got back to being how I want to be as an athlete. So mentally, it's challenging. It's all about adjustment.
What okay, that's good, Deja. How did you come out of it? How did you come out of the state of depression?
It was a lot of praying with my mom. It was a lot of um just just getting back to how I was, just not so much focused on if I'm going to be how I was, but basically trying to be better than what I was. So I had to just bring myself up like, is this really what you want to do? And it took basically COVID, like, oh, track is taken away from you because we didn't have a season. So I was like, oh wow, this is how it would be without track. And I just had to snap out of it like, okay, it's an injury. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
Wow.
Well, it's so good
That,
that you came out of that.
Thank,
Yeah, it's yeah, for sure. Keep going, keep pushing. So,
thank
do you have a memorable moment from track, or maybe a meet, or an interesting story that happened?
I have a lot of interesting stories.
Okay, well, share one with us.
Okay. It wasn't in college, but when the Warriors first won, I told you I was a basketball fan. When
Yes.
they first won the championship, it was like a step up in my house, and I was running around the house, and I split my toe wide open.
Oh
Yes.
my.
And that same week was an association meet where I had to qualify to go to regionals. And
Oh man.
not gonna be able to run because I had to get stitches in my foot. But I ran with stitches in my toe. It was the most painful thing ever.
Man.
and
wow.
and then that year I won nationals in the 200.
Well, see, there you go. That's some determination.
Was
Wow.
Man. Okay, well, for those who are interested in track and field or want to know how to get started, what are a few tips that you could give?
um if you're trying to get started, it's very time consuming. So you just got to make sure that's what you want to do. For one, like track is 90% mental, honestly.
Mm,
10% physical and 90% mental. So if you gotta be willing and able to spend your time, if that's really what you want to do, and be great if that's really what you want to do. And then just work hard. Like it's all about hard work. You can't. It's always gonna be somebody faster than you. That's what I've always been told. It's always
mhm.
faster than you, and you just gotta be willing to put in the work to be the greatest, and that's what you just gotta do.
Okay, that's great for track and field, and I think that can go across,
Go
for
across.
all sports, right? So, how do you
Right.
train? What does training look like for track and field? Do you? I'm assuming, of course, you run a lot, but do you do a lot of weightlifting, or how does that tie into preparation?
It's a lot of It's a lot of running, intense running, and then it's a lot of weightlifting.
Hmm.
From high school into college, I do weights at all in high school. So when I came to tech, it was like we are a strong school, we are a weightlifting school. So I was like, oh my gosh, a lot, but you'll get used to it. You get used to it, like squatting, hang clean, stuff like that. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of making you better.
Okay.
Deja, you have a fan that's watching you. My brother, one of my younger brother, David. We call him Dave, and Dave is a runner. He's running marathons over. He ran a marathon over in Ireland,
Oh
and
wow.
he is a runner for real. I mean, and he said that he had been following your career since you were in high school. So
Well,
he's watching you tonight, and he
hey,
said, "Tell her she got to hook me up with a Texas Tech shirt or something." But he did say he'll pay for it. He said he'll pay for it. So, but he is watching you tonight. So I don't know if you want to give a shout out to Dave but
well,
he is watching you.
Dave, thanks for the support. I need it. I need all the support I can get. So thank you. You have a shirt
Yeah.
coming.
Shout out to Dave. We love it. We love the fans and the support. That's awesome.
Well, we're going to take a 1 minute break and we're going to come back and we'll be right back with Miss Deja Gordon. All right, here we go.
All right, and we're back. Welcome back to the Expect to Win Experience TV show where we highlight student athletes. Once again, I'm Kandi Knight.
And I am Coach Thomas, and we are here with Miss Daja Gordon. And Daja is a track superstar. I'm not going to even say star anymore. She's a superstar. Once you
Yes.
come on the Expect to Win Experience, you're elevated to superstar status, but you still stay humble.
That's right.
You
And
still,
we're going to follow. We're going to
yeah,
follow your path.
Thank you.
definitely. But we have someone that is here that came to say some words to you, Deja, and he is a Olympic gold medalist, and I'm not gonna even I don't even try to front. I'm not a runner. I don't like running. I look at you guys and I'm like, I tried to run with my brother once and I thought I was gonna die. So I don't run. I will walk. So to have you and our special guest tonight is definitely a treat, and I'm hoping to hear something from one of you guys that will at least make me want to attempt to run. But if not, but to have an Olympic gold medalist on the Expect to Win experience, Kandi, I don't know about you, but I'm thrilled beyond words. And so the only thing I can say, let's introduce our guest, Mr. Tyree Washington.
All
Hey guys,
right.
Andy, hey, what's up, Coach?
Hey, there you go.
Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Doing well. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was rushing back. I was shopping, and then somebody hit my car, and it was like,
Um,
it was a mess. I'm like, the malls are crazy right now. It's just unbelievable.
Oh
Yeah,
no, we hope everything's good. You good to go?
yeah, I'm good. So that's what insurance is for.
Okay. Okay. Well, good to go. Well, we
Yeah.
gotta
Tyree,
let's jump right into
you
it.
in, you're in Texas also, right?
No, I'm in California.
Oh, you're in California. Oh,
Yes,
okay. All
yes.
right. All right. Well, Miss Kandi.
Okay, well, let's jump right into it and talk about these medals. Some world championship medals here, gold medals. So tell us about your path to getting to these medals.
Yeah. Well, track kind of it happened by I say it happened by accident in a lot of ways. I mean, I didn't want to run. I was initially a football player, signed with University of Oregon many years ago, and I was going to come in as a true freshman and play free safety, but things didn't quite work out, and so I ended up going to the junior college and in hopes of just going back to Division One. But there was a coach from Nigeria. His name was Black Medihim, and he told me, he asked me if I would run the quarter at his junior college, which was in San Bernardino, California. I was going to school in Riverside, California, at La Sierra High School, and I kind of laughed in his face, and I was just like, whatever. Like, I mean, because he told me, he was like, I'm gonna make you great. I mean, Deja, you probably heard this many times before about coaches like, hey, I'm gonna do all this great stuff for you. And so football wasn't working out, so I decided to give him a shot. And I went over there, and literally what he told me the first day we had practice, he said, "You're a professional athlete in college." And I remember looking at him going, like, I'm in junior college, like I haven't even made it to the professional ranks yet. And but uh but but it was the best advice he ever gave me, because he told me, he said, "You're going to think like a professional athlete." And Deja, I want you to listen to this. He said, "I want you to think like a professional athlete. I want you to train like one on the track, in the weight room. I want you to eat like one. Everything, you want to dress like one. Do everything professional athletes do." I was training like the fall of 1996, and by May 10th of 1997, I had broken the national record. I broke the state record, and I was the number 2 400-meter run in the world behind the great Michael Johnson. And then I went on to beat Michael Johnson in Paris, France. I was the youngest to ever beat him. And so it was a battle. I mean, me and Michael battled for 8 years, and going back and forth. But it was a great rivalry because he made me better, I made him better, and I think that's the key is just being a student athlete and want to go to the next level, because you have athletes that are good, and then you have athletes that are great, and those good ones are, I mean, they're running times that are okay, but the difference between the good and the great is that mental focus. Mental focus is that laser focus that you have is that's going to separate you from getting first or second, or maybe going from second to third, or whatnot. So it's important to visualize, to see yourself at practice hitting the times you want to run, and also to see yourself at the national championship winning that gold medal. See yourself at the world championship win that gold medal, at the Olympics win that gold medal. I don't, one thing about football, there's roster height. Every team out there, like, I mean, it's like you may have a guy that's 5'11", next thing you know, he's 6'5", 5'11", he 175. You look at the roster, he's 6'5", 220. And then you're going to feel it's trying to put that fear in you. And most athletes, when I talk to them, is that they get so psyched out, and they have this fear when they look at the roster, like who they're going to race, and they broke a world record maybe the week before, American record, or they ran this fastest time in the world. You got to throw all that out the window. That means nothing. I don't care who you ran. If it was the great Marion Jones back in the day that you're racing, or one of the fastest the women that are running now, they have to prove to you today who they are, and you have to have that type of mentality. And it's not about disrespecting them, about counting them out. It's all about just having that confidence that you put the work in. But you got to put the work in, because everybody's talented. They got talent all over the world. But it's all a matter of what you're going to do with your talent, because talent plus action, and good character, because you have good character, that's going to set you up for success. So it's important that you dot your I's, cross your T's, and do your best to think positively and have positive people around you. And I guarantee you that at the end of the day is that you'll be satisfied with your performance. And if you do fail, which you are going, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to fail. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. You're going to fail, and it's okay. I failed, but the thing is that when you fail, get your behind back up, keep pushing forward, go back to the drawing board, watch film, and try to exploit your weakness. That's the key. Whatever weakness you have, don't take offense to it. Because a lot of athletes, they say, they like, oh man, Coach Wash, man, you talk about you're saying I got all these problems, I got all these weaknesses, but the weaknesses are good. That's a great thing for you to discover, because when you can flip it and turn it into a strength, think about how much better you're going to be. So it's important that you just, and it's important you listen to all this, and also just learn as you go. Just always be open to keep on learning and have fun with this stuff, because I did over a decade in track and field, and it was over with. It was gone. And it was like that quick. And then I was on the next thing, my next talent's like my next passion. And I wrote a book. It's called Against All Odds, right here. It just came out. Just came out 3 months ago, worldwide. I'm also working on a Netflix series and a movie with Christian Tyree. That's something that it'll be based on my life, and kind of we're gonna mimic a little bit my All American on Netflix. I come from a crazy background. I have asthma. Just tell you, I'm not gonna tell you my whole whole story. So I have asthma. I've had it really bad. It almost killed me numerous times as being a professional track and field athlete, even playing in the NFL as well, because I played in the NFL. I had a team of physicians to control it. But I never looked at it as a handicap. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever issues that you're dealing with, is that you always have to work towards trying to find a solution. That's just life in general. Because stuff is going to pop up all day long, every day, and try to find a solution. If you can't find a solution, and you're having struggling with it, it's like in the good word in the Bible, it says, "Lean not to your own understanding," is reach out to other people that are going to be able to help you. Reach out to I call those are lifelines. Reach out to those lifelines so they can be able to help you. And when you it's like a cake. I do a lot of baking, and so if you try to bake a cake and you don't put all the ingredients in, you ain't getting that cake. So you gotta have the same thing with just what you're trying to do to be successful in life. You gotta all these components. You gotta put all these different ingredients in to set yourself up for success, and hopefully you have a high probability of doing great things.
Awesome words of advice. Now you mentioned that you're coaching. What sport do you coach?
So I consult. I'm a speaker, so I speak all over. Yeah, so I speak about overcoming adversity. I talk about leadership, but I consult with athletes all over. They email me about their workouts, their mental performance, because like I said, 90% of it's mental. I've seen a lot of athletes, a lot of my former teammates, they look like Greek gods. I'm not even body's immaculate.
Yeah.
And I'm on that level. I'm just like, dang, I mean, body's popping. And But you get them in front of 100,000 people, and guess what happened? Most of them freeze up. They start looking east and west, left and right, and they can't handle that pressure. That pressure is a lot of pressure because nobody's gonna be able to do it for you. You have to do it all on your own, and the world's watching. I mean, you got billions. I mean, there's 7.8 billion people on this planet, so it's like everybody's gonna be watching you. And you got camera crews, you got coaches, you got agents. You got to perform. You have to be able. You literally have to be able to play the pretend game, and that's what I was great at doing is you can walk in a stadium with 100,000 people. You have to pretend there's nobody in the stadium. You're literally at practice, and as you and your coach is in the middle of the field. You got the bullhorn, and you're getting ready to do. You're going to go race pace, running your open 400, 200, whatever your 100 meters, whatever your event is, and you have to stay. You know, obviously you're in your lane, but you have to stick to your own script and nobody else's. Because once you start conforming to somebody else, you're conforming to someone other athletes' ways and their strategy, whatnot. You've already lost the race. Most athletes lose the race before they even start the race because, like I said, they get caught up in that roster hype. They start looking at how they're built and what they ran last week, and they're done. That's it. They might as well sit in the stands and just watch. So you have to learn to, like I said, play the pretend game and block everything out. Just you and your coach, and your clock is the enemy. That's your competitor is the clock. And so you have that mentality. You go into it, like I said, these are all key components to help you to become successful. But yeah, Kandi, like just like to answer your question, I mean, I consult with athletes all over because I mean the athletes right now, especially now, they're dealing with so much. It's not so much like it's the athletic component. It's the mental aspect of it, the mental health aspect of it, because obviously the season becomes short. They don't have a season anymore, and they're seniors, and maybe senior in high school. It ain't like college. You can petition the NCAA and get a fifth year. They're done. So there's a lot of frustration out there, but you can only control what you can't control. That's it. You can't play God and try to control have your hand in everything and just determine what everybody's thinking. It doesn't work that way. If my coach who still mentors me after 20 something years and he still gets in my case and he's not one of those yes people. And Daja, you don't, and that's another thing I want to tell you, don't have yes people in your life. That yes people will screw you over. Yes people will slow you down or prevent you from getting to your destination. You want somebody to get in your face in love, right? They love you, because if they're not giving that constructive criticism, they're not trying to lead you down a straight and narrow and lead you in that right direction, then they're just, I mean, they're just like a parasite. They're just there. And that's something that you don't want. You want people to help you to get better. You're not trying to be perfect. My coaches told me years ago that practice makes perfect, and that's one of the biggest lies ever. Everybody's trying to be perfect. Everybody wants to take the right on social media, take the right picture. They want to say the right thing. They want to dress the right way. But the thing of it is that, like I said, you're gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. Coach Tom is gonna fail. Like we all, but we got to be able to get back up. We have to work. The focus has to be is getting better at everything you do. Get better academically. Get better, your character. Work on your character. Work on your competition. Get better at your competition. Work on getting better at your academics. Your circle, your people within your circle, and start weeding them out and start really sitting back. Have that gratitude, and complaining, because it's easy to complain. We can complain all day long about things that we don't have, but we got to focus on things that we do have, and that's when you'll see that everything will start opening up. You won't feel like you have this monkey on your back. You got the weight of the world on you. You say you're literally like that bird that's just flying anywhere and everywhere. You're free, and that's where you want to be. Don't try to go and please. Don't try to go please any and everybody, because like I said, it's not going to happen. It's like on YouTube. When you look at YouTube, you may got an artist that got 10 million thumbs up. Somebody gonna give him a thumbs down.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying, Kandi? It's like somebody gonna give him a thumbs down. So you just do you. You do whatever makes you happy. If it's not detrimental to your health, other people, whatnot, and it's helping you to push forward in life, to progress, and to be able to help people around you to give back. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You're blessed with a talent. You're given a talent that most people in the world, they do not have. And my mom always tell me I want to, be one of these world titles. She said, well, that's nice. I mean, that's good. But I mean, But a bum on the street guy, it has a talent too, but we don't know what's behind that. There's something that happened in his life. So you just appreciate the talent, the talent you have. Be blessed with the talent you have, and just know that and max it out, exalt it exalt it to the fullest. Just like Chad Boswick, late Chad Boswick. I mean, he trained that well with his talents. He drained them all, drained all your talents before you leave this earth, and just give back and like I said, you'll be like that bird just flapping everywhere, just flapping all over the place. Just be free. Be free.
That's some awesome advice, Tyree. Deja, you have any questions for Tyree?
You said what?
Do you have any questions for Tyree?
What are some?
I know he just gave us a lot.
I gave y'all everything. I just the house. I got a whole bunch more.
I could just sit here and listen because I'm taking it in, and I'm like I said, now, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna send y'all a video of me on the track.
Well, fun fact, I ran track a little bit when I was younger, so this is all exciting for me too. I didn't take it all the way through, but it's still cool to chat about it a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. Kandi, I meet so many people that have come up to me that ran track, and they're like, "Man, Ty, I've never been at your level, and I've never. I mean, I ran the 400, but I was never the fastest man in the world. I was the fastest man in the world 3 times in the 400 meters. But I'm like, that doesn't matter. The fact is, the 400 meter, 400 meters to me that's the hardest event on the planet to run, and the fact that you're stepping up to the plate and saying that I want to be able to tackle that. I mean, you're sprinting over 4 football fields. That's crazy. I mean, and it takes a lot. I mean, a lot of speed and endurance. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, and a lot of mental focus. So it tells a lot about your character that you don't give up easily, and you're a fighter. And it's like when you can be able to tackle something like that, you can be able to handle anything in life. I mean, because that's one thing about the beauty about sports. It teaches us so much of just how to live our life and just how to be responsible, to be disciplined, and to be caring and be loving and have that integrity. And so, which is important. And I'm gonna talk about integrity too. Is that I talk about this in my book, and I'll touch on it. That I was part of the biggest doping scandal in U.S. history. All right, so I won 8 world titles, had a world record, but 4 of them got snatched away because my teammates were doping. Not because I was doping, my teammates were doping. So we had suicides. We had obviously Marion went to federal pit. She did Fed time. I mean, you had athletes get banned for life. I want you to understand this, okay? I'm telling you this. You're gonna go out there and put the work in. You're gonna bust your tail, all right? Wherever the cars fall, that's where they fall, all right? And so you have to be happy with that. I mean, like, happy in the sense of like, if you go out there, you work hard, you give it your best, and you give it your best, and you get third. Then go back to that drawing board and try to work on, getting first place next time. But don't take no shortcuts. Most of the athletes, and I've dealt with the doping for years, still dealing with it. Is that when I speak to these athletes, and I talk about what happened to me in my experience, they didn't need the drugs, they didn't need it, and they were greedy. Don't get greedy, all right? When you get greedy, you get sloppy, and everything that you work for, it's gonna be taken away, all right? And I said I like Marion Jones. I mean, I still love Marion. Marion was a phenomenal athlete. She was amazing, but the thing is those circle of people. And if she was on the interview right now, she'll tell you too. She got caught up with the wrong people, and those people that are yes people, they're not looking after your best interest. They're going to bring you down. So just make sure you're very aware of your surroundings. And like I said, people, they're not building you up, and they're not trying to steer you in the right direction. They want you to take those shortcuts. You got to cut them out because you don't want to have an asterisk by your name. You don't want them to strip your medals. You don't want it to be on AP wire all over the world that you were doping, and you don't put yourself in that predicament. All right, that's something that you don't want to do, and that's why I really encourage you athletes. When in doubt, whatever you put in your body, call USA Track and Field. All right, call USA Track and Field. Call USADA, WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. Call them and ask them like, hey, am I allowed to take this? If your coach doesn't know, if your agents don't know, whoever it may be, then you got to go over their head, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to get blasted in front of the entire world. They're going to come after you. All right. Yeah, the coaches, their name will be in the mix, but they're going to come after you. And I don't want you. I don't want you to. I don't want to see in the headlines fall for athletes. Danger. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot throughout the years, and it just breaks my heart. And if you're gonna say something, you have a location form, you know about that form, right? They're gonna drug test you. Make sure you're there. Okay, make sure you're not somewhere else. There's a lot of athletes just recently. They had 3 missed tests because they weren't at the location to get
Mhm.
drug tests, and now they're banned. We want to, you want to avoid, you want to prevent that. Just like you go and before you go to when you go to practice, you're doing your lap, you're doing your strides, you're doing your stretching, your drills, all that stuff. You try to prevent an injury from happening, right? So you can go out there and practice. You can go out there so you can go compete. So you want to prevent from making bad decisions so you don't get caught up to where, like I said, you have asterisk by your name and you're banned for 2 years, 4 years, or for life. All right, that's what we want to make sure we try to prevent. So you got any questions? Because I know you got some questions.
Yeah.
No, and you better ask them because I'm gone. When I'm gone, that's it. I mean, I'm out.
What setbacks that you had in your career?
Setbacks. One of my biggest setbacks I had was I think back in 2005. I was at Penn Relays and I was trying to pass my buddy Christopher Williams from the Bahamas. Uh, and he like somehow I got caught up with his foot, so I was airborne, landed on my side, and I separated my pelvis. And I didn't know at the time, but when I went to the doctor because I was having a lot of lower abdominal pain, spitting up blood, they was like, "Your season's over with." But me, I'm like, "No, my season's not over with. I'm hard headed." I said, "Well, give me the strongest painkiller you can give me that I'm not going to test. I'm not going to test positive, obviously." And so that was hard for me. And I went on the European circuit, and I didn't make the world championship team, but I got into the World Athletic Final, and they had the best quarter milers in the world: Jeremy Warner. They had Michael Blackwood and Timothy Benjamin from Great Britain, just great quarter milers. And they put me in lane 7, but I played that pretend game. I was like, you know what, you're not hurt, and you're the best quarter miler in the world. And I went out there and dropped 44.5 with a separated pelvis. Yeah, and broke the championship record. So I said it's all about mindset. I mean, but you do got to be smart. I mean, now there's some situations where you may have heart palpitation or something going on in your body, and it's like hey, something ain't right. Then you need to seek out medical attention. See, talk to your physicians that are involved. But for the most part, I mean, I knew my limits. I knew how far I can go, and that goes back to the football in me. It's just being a free safety is that I have a high pain tolerance, so I can take it to how far I can go. But that was a struggle for me right there because literally I literally had to just have more mental focus than I ever had in my life because I knew that I had like a flat tire. It
It happened. It happened. And
happens a lot.
you prepare for like meets? Like, did you have like a ritual that you would do? Like, how did you prepare? Like,
Yeah, so all the headbands you guys wearing now, you know who started that? Do you know?
no.
I did. I did. A lot
Ah.
so I'm like, yeah. So I started it back in '96, and I wanted to distinguish myself from other runners. I didn't want to be like Dennis Rodman. Not trying to blast Dennis, he a baller, and but but I wanted to be different, but also I wanted my mom to be able to recognize me on the track. And I figured like, hey, I wear a headband and I wore different colors. So whatever competition that I competed in, I always wear a headband. And I would always I would always lay myself out of my bed in my hotel, have my headband, and make sure I have my bag, have my music. And for me, that was like that. I went into that mode of it's kind of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I mean, I'm talkative. I love talking to people and mingling. But then when I'm getting time for to compete, I went into that gladiator mode. I just shut everybody out, and I was just silent, and I just had that laser focus, and I would just rehearse my race over and over again. Every step, every 100 meters, every 50 meters, I would just rehearse how I was going to run it. I'd already played in my head before I even ran, and most of the time, but if I had some doubt, and the World Championship in 1997, if you ever get bored one day, you look on YouTube. I was second to last, coming around the final bend, And Michael, and I thought I should have picked it up with Michael at the beginning of the 200 meter mark. But Mike, Big Mike Mike was gone. And so I snatched everybody up and I got third because I thought I got second, but I didn't see Davis Kamoga. And so it's just, but that just everything like just that visualization, me laying out my stuff on my bed for me, wearing my headband. I would be over in Europe and I didn't have, for some reason, my headband it got lost. My agent would be out at some sporting store in Ireland or whatever. And she's like, I need a headband. I don't care what type of headband, just give me a headband. Because he ain't gonna run. I wouldn't run. I wouldn't run. But also had a problem though. The International Federation, because of logos and stuff back then, we were at it. We were going at it because they're like, I can wear the headband, and I stood my ground. I was like, I'm gonna wear my headband. This is a part of who I am. And so, but yeah, so that was like my ritual. Yeah, that was my trademark headband.
All right. Well, Tyree, I want to, if it's okay with you, if I want to gift Daja a copy of your book. So
Yeah.
you can autograph it, and we'll make sure we'll take care of, but I want to give her a copy of your book if she like to have. And I think I mean, we could listen to you all night. I can, and I think Kandi and Daja feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because you just giving us jewels, not only for track and field, but to live by. But we're gonna have to wrap this up. But I would like to what I mean, I don't know what else you can add to it, but for the young people that's watching, the young athletes, and what could you say to them, that because I think one of the things now is for the young people to learn and figure out how to be disciplined. I think that's the issue now. What would you say to Deja and even other young athletes? What is the process of becoming or being disciplined to be a great athlete?
Well, I think whatever you value is what you can put your time in. If you value being the best in the world, if you value your academics, if you value getting a scholarship, I mean, whatever it may be, you're gonna put your time in that. If you don't, if you don't care about it, you're gonna do something else. But you have to make sure that whatever you love to do, I mean, that whatever you're doing, you're passionate about it. You love to do it day in and day out. That's the thing, and you always want to be one level up on everything. Like I said, it's act as if one level up. I mean, I work with Jack Canfield, and he talks about his terminology is act as if, but but if you value Deja, you want to be one of the greatest track and field athletes ever, right? And so you have to put all your time in it. Athletes tell me all the time, they say, man, coach, I'm hungry for success. I said, man, I said, okay, that's nice to be hungry. I said, you better be starving for success. You got to be starving that you want to be able to be the best in the world. And when you decide that you don't want to train and you tired or you feel like I'm not going to do it, whatever, remember somebody else is training. If you trying to get that scholarship, and you trying to slack, remember there's somebody else in another state, another country that wants to come over here to America to get that scholarship. They want that lotto ticket. They want it. So you have to literally think about that every single time. Is that Jim Bush had this? The late Jim Bush, he was one of my coaches, and he had this. He would tell me this all the time. He said, every time you train, you put money in the bank, and when it's time for you to compete, you're gonna collect interest. So every time you training, you put money in the bank. It's all going towards you going out there and performing on Saturday, Sunday, or whatever it may be to do your best. So that's what I just will encourage you, is that make sure you value your sport, that you believe in yourself, and just know that there's like this quote, destiny can be delayed but not denied. Bro, you're gonna have a lot of roadblocks in life that's gonna come in your way. All right. And it's gonna slow you up from getting to where you want to be, but it's gonna never stop you. So that's that. It's gonna never stop you. And look to other athletes, look to other great athletes that have done amazing things, that are successful, that are legends in the sport, like myself. It's like reach out to them if you because those are lifelines, and get advice from them. When you act like you know everything, you know nothing. I'm still learning about life. I'm still learning every day, and I get wild. So just keep on learning, keep on giving, And every race you run it as if it's your last race. Your last race. And like I said, all the stuff that I talked about this evening is going to help to set you up for success and to do great things. And it's going to help you to carry on over until like when you transition out of sports. And that's a whole nother podcast that I could get into, but I ain't getting into that. So
awesome words of advice. Thank you both for joining us. Before we close out completely, we need some contact info. So we'll start with you, Daja. How can we contact you? What's your social media handles to follow your journey?
You can follow me on Twitter at Daja_love with 3 E's. That's where I'll be at mostly. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Tyree, what about you?
Yeah, so you can go to my website at www.tyreeswashington.com. Hit me up on Facebook at Tyree S. Washington. You can go to my LinkedIn because I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I do a lot of networking. There's Tyree S. Washington. Hit me up on Instagram at the real Tyree S. Washington. I got to put the real in there in my middle initial S because they got these Tyree Washingtons be popping up all over the place now. So I got to distinguish myself.
Absolutely. And congrats again on your book that just came out. So if you're watching, go check that out. Grab the book, copy, and we're going to stay tuned and check out the show that you've got in the works and everything. So congrats in advance on everything.
Appreciate it, Coach. Appreciate it, Kandi. Thanks, Coach Thompson.
No problem.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tyree S. Washington and the great Daja superstar, Daja Gordon. Thank you, Daja, for being with us, and much success. And you are in our prayers, and we are. When you do get to the Olympics, if it's in 4 years, make sure when you cross that finish line, I want to give a shout out to Coach and Kandi.
I got that.
That's right. And then you can come back and talk to the ones coming behind you. Give them some words of advice as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, Kandi, another. Okay. Wait a minute. Another great show, and I love it. I love it. We're gonna say good night, Kandi. I mean,
that's it. Everything has been said. Tyree gave some amazing words of advice. I'm actually gonna have to go back and watch it again and take notes because it's so valuable. It's always great to hear from professionals who are great at what they do, who've achieved what a lot of these athletes want to try and achieve. And so thanks again for him coming on. And that's it for the show tonight. Contact them, play back if you need to. Great show. Roll Tide.
Make sure you subscribe to Expect to Win TV. We are here every Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit the little bell, subscribe, make sure, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Expect to Win Show. Where else are we, Kandi?
That's it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Expect to Win TV here on YouTube. That's it. And then our personal pages. Mine is Kandi on Air.
And you can find me, J. Thomas Luxury, and I'm all over the place. And this is, we had a good time tonight. This was an awesome show. So, ladies and gentlemen, I see people that are watching, and I see the numbers, and thank you for being with us. And we're only going to get better from here. And if you have a dream or a vision, something that you are aspiring to do, if you give it your all, if you leave it all on the court, leave it all in the classroom, leave it all, just make sure whatever you do, it's not always about who comes in first. But when you give it your all, you can always expect to win.
That's right.
I'm Coach Thomas.
I'm Kandi Knight, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Expect to Win TV show.